For a long time, I contemplated on how to exactly make this video. I wanted it to be honest in terms of what it's like in today's date, its current scenario, in all forms of the good and the bad. And then I decided, let's just go with the truth.
Hi, you may be a local watching this video or someone who's just looking for some information, or you are just here because of the thumbnail. But I'm going to give you some information, some good and some bad, and you can decide for yourself what you feel at the end.
Imagine this, a traveler is looking at Kalimpong to travel to. She Googles, finds various infos, watches some YouTube videos, and then if decided, narrows down to a few hotels and books one. The hoteliers at Kalimpong, always eager to welcome visitors, responds to any mail or call ever so politely and positively.
In this scenario, things are pretty simple. The traveler wants to have a good time and the hotelier wants to give the traveler a good time. But does it really work out that simple?
The traveler reaches Kalimpong, checks in, and is ready for her adventures. Next day, the car is ready for sightseeing, the sightseeing as mundane as it may be for the driver, who has the same sightseeing points as always, still happily provides service to the traveler. But here's the twist. The traveler, along with the sightseeing, discovers some things on her own that was not on the itinerary. The traveler discovers that the town of Kalimpong is actually pretty chaotic. There seems to be no parking anywhere. Even for a motorcyclist, it is difficult to find parking. Every nook and corner of town is some taxi line syndicate. The traveler also notices little garbage piles which seem to add to the beauty of the place. She also discovers the charm of our open drains drooling with luscious grime. And then sees this, the famous pipeline art of Kalimpong. Some say these are one of the most photographed items of Kalimpong, especially for the people coming from abroad. All this leaves the traveler with somewhat a dismal feeling about Kalimpong, no matter how good a service he or she may have received.
Now, I'm not bashing Kalimpong, but this is the current scenario where mountain towns are concerned from Shillong to Shimla regarding traffic and parking. But Kalimpong could certainly work on some little things to improve itself.
Years of different associations sitting around tables sipping tea every month has not really amounted to anything real other than two welcome gates for Kalimpong. Two gates, one after another. And the rise of the rural tourism in the last few years has really created a shift in the way travelers choose their destinations. On top of that, the new threat of the rising Teesta has not really helped the case for Kalimpong. Every time a somewhat heavy rain occurs, it instantly results in the roads being closed due to the rising levels of the water. All this makes it look like the future of urban Kalimpong is doomed. Kalimpong has always been a more laid-back, sleepy town in comparison to its traditional neighbors like Gangtok and Darjeeling. Life here moves at a lot slower pace compared to the other two. And if you want to experience the very soul of Kalimpong, you will have to dig in a little deeper. If you Google things to do in Kalimpong, you will find a standard list of things like Delo Hill, Mangal etc. etc. But there are also a whole lot of things that are not on Google. Things that would help you open your eyes to a different side of Kalimpong that nobody tells you about. Not because it is a secret, but because these things are not mainstream in Kalimpong tourism. So let me tell you about a few things that may not be in the usual list of Google, things that will help you experience a little bit of the soul of Kalimpong. Let me start with what I believe to be the highest rated, most unique item of Kalimpong, the church where Jesus is represented as a Buddhist monk. Nowhere in the world will you find such a specimen. This is the Mary Mother of God Church, located at Raleigh Road. Here you will find what is to be one of the most unique representation of Jesus. The entire paintings on the walls is done so, representing our Tibetan culture. This is truly one of the most unique things that Kalimpong has to offer, and it is highly underrated as sometimes even the locals don't know about it. The story of this church is linked to the European Christian missions to Tibet, the history of which goes back as far as the 16th century. Kalimpong has always been about DARAS. Little cliffs would be probably the best way to describe a DARA. There are these amazing little cliffy spots all over the outskirts of Kalimpong, which you would be absolutely amazed to discover. Most of these are local favorites, and finding them all would definitely require local help. But here is one that has recently been developed officially with a ticket counter. A little below our famous original Puje Dara, this spot was originally almost hilariously called Kashmir by the locals. Maybe they imagined this is what Kashmir looks like. It has recently been developed and is called Puje Dara Ecotourism, and it seems it falls under the Forest Department. Visit this place and you will love it. Even the locals absolutely love it. It has not yet been listed as a place of interest for Kalimpong, but I guess it will be soon. For a long time, the HAAT Bazaar has been a central space for Kalimpong, with weekly HAATs on Wednesday and Saturday. But there is a new HAAT in town, the BIHIBAREY HAAT, or the Thursday HAAT. And it has been one of the most welcome changes in Kalimpong in a long time. Also, Kalimpong has been the first to start a HAAT like this, and the model for which is now kind of being replicated all over parts of Sikkim and the Darjeeling region. The Thursday HAAT is a sort of a cultural HAAT wherein you only find local produce. You get everything here: agricultural produce, flowers, handicrafts, and a host of local street food. It's like the Chinatown of Bangkok, but at a smaller scale. So if Kalimpong is on your list, then Thursday should be in it. Kalimpong has some 100 plus little Momo joints in every nook and corner, and some of them have attained legendary status. Now, to give you a little insight, we come from a place that not so long ago believed that there is no such thing as a chicken momo or a veg momo. All momo came from something that had 4 legs. Also, there is no such thing as momos. It is momo. The S is not silent. It does not exist. So if you're into 4 legs, here are a few joints that will blow your mind. All of these are old school joints that keep things authentic. New restaurant in Main Road. Other than the name, nothing about it is new. Lin restaurant in HAAT Bazaar. Amazing Kothi momo here. Nima restaurant near motor stand. Great pork momo here. Amdo restaurant in the alleyway just near and below Tirpai Fatak. Amazing tea momo and shapta here.
Now I could go on and that would be an entire video on its own, and I know I'm not doing justice by just taking these names, but I just wanted to put across our strong heritage where Momo is concerned. If you're a local and have your favorite, do put it down in the comments and let us all know. And if you're someone who's looking for chicken momos, go to the cafes. They are like the snowflakes of our Momo community in Kalimpong. And I'm not even going to make an effort on veg.
Now, if you're someone who's asking yourself, where in Kalimpong can I buy something? Something that is originally Kalimpong, something that I can take back home and say, this is authentic stuff from Kalimpong. Then go to this place, Lak's Provisions, a place where you can get local cheese or Kalimpong lollipops, which all have a history almost as old as Kalimpong. You will also get an assortment of things here that are locally made. Lark's in itself is a landmark store of Kalimpong, and all the old folks here have fond memories of the place. You can also go to RC Mintri Road, where you get all the traditional and local stuff. In fact, most of the shops at RC Mintri Road are also as old as Kalimpong and are suppliers of these things up to Ladakh and Kashmir. Earlier, their main supply was to Tibet. You will find a plethora of Tibetan, Bhutanese and local ethnic attire and other things here. Another place that you can go to is Sike Chowk and visit this alleyway. Here, go to one of these shops and pick up a Kusume Rumal. This is a handkerchief that is made in Kalimpong and is famous for it. There is also an old Nepali movie named after this handkerchief, Kusume Rumal. If you ask me what is so special about this handkerchief, I sincerely do not know. It was before my time. You can also pick up some churpi. These are a dairy product like cheese if you will, but hard like bone. In fact, someone had a bright idea and went to Shark Tank US and sold it as dog treats. If I'm not mistaken, they were called Himalayan Dog Chew and they're still in business. In its origin, churpi is not dog food. Now, if you are the curious kind and love to get an insight into the nitty-gritties of quiet history, of which Kalimpong has plenty, go to this book cafe. Here, you may discover a lot of fascinating little stories about Kalimpong. And then you can go hopping around on your own looking for the images reflected in the books of Kalimpong.
Now, just to fuel your curiosity, I'm going to give you a few interesting facts about Kalimpong. Kalimpong, or one of the spaces of Kalimpong, was once known as the Den of Spies. Now, if you want to know why and how, you'll have to read a book. One of the Burmese royalty was exiled and lived and died in Kalimpong. Kalimpong was once a part of Bhutan. His Holiness the Dalai Lama has family in Kalimpong. His very own elder brother still lives here till date. Now, if you want to know more, just go and get this book. These are just little things that puts an interesting angle to this little place, making it very intriguing for the curious mind.
Kalimpong has now become a district on its own, and there is so much to explore and discover. There is, of course, a lot more to Kalimpong than just the things that I have mentioned. As for today, this is all.